Welcome to Special TV for the expansion to the largest artificial reef along the Dutch coast, along the Wadden Sea at Lauwersoog, in Groningen, the Netherlands. Many new reef elements and tidal pools were placed. The placement was done by Oeverwerken BV with one of their ships, the IJsvogel. Part of the reef elements and tidal pools were made by Reef Systems.
Lauwersoog is said to become the home of the most expansive man-made reef ever built along the Dutch coastline. The initial artificial reefs and tidal pools, constructed near the Lauwersoog Dyke in 2021, proved to be a resounding success, sparking a remarkable surge in underwater life. Encouraged by these fantastic results, the Noorderzijlvest waterboard and Rijkswaterstaat have decided to expand the surrounding reef area. The contractor combination GMB and Heijmans took care of the construction of the new reef elements and tidal pools. The implementation of the project was in the hands of Heuvelmans Ibis. They commissioned this project to Oeverwerken BV. The construction of the reef elements took place at a shipyard in the port of Lauwersoog. There, the parts for the reef were assembled from 56 separate concrete modules. This was a considerable undertaking, reported Jesse de Boom, co-founder of Reef Systems. The assembly of the 100 reef elements was completed by a team of 10 people, which took them 5 days. In total, 5,600 separate parts were processed. For the realization of the project, Reef Systems supplied a quantity of 132 tidal pools and 100 reef elements. They manufactured these components themselves, using recycled concrete as the primary material. By feeding concrete construction waste through their specially designed installation, the existing reinforcing steel is separated first. The reusable concrete grit is then released, which they then use for the production of both the reef elements and the tidal pools. From the assembly site in the port, the already constructed reef structures of Reef Systems were moved towards the quay by means of a shovel. There they were placed on a specifically demarcated site, from which they were later loaded onto the vessel. Oeverwerken BV had called in the services of the IJsvogel for the logistics surrounding the transport and installation of the reefs. This vessel is registered to Jonathan Heuvelman and Marius den Ouden. They are the captains of this 55-meter long and 7.30-meter wide ship, which they have owned for a quarter of a century. The constructed reef elements were arranged in a demarcated area on the quay. The section on the quay was set up for this purpose. The IJsvogel and its crew were back from placing earlier reef elements on the Wadden Sea and were moored at the quay in Lauwersoog. The first step was to unload the used hoisting straps. In addition, several elements were supplied by a shovel. The IJsvogel is equipped with a mobile crane, supplied by PLM. 25 years ago, the crane was installed on board the ship. Jonathan and Marius alternate in loading and unloading the cargo. The hoisting straps were again attached to the reef elements for hoisting, so that they could be hoisted on board shortly thereafter. The weights of the reef elements were between 2 and 3 tons. This crane has a boom that covers a range of 21 meters and can lift a load of up to 12 tons at a distance of 7 meters. Loading and unloading is certainly not easy on the IJsvogel, according to Jonathan. Although he grew up with it and has certainly gained enough experience over the years, there are many factors to consider when loading and unloading. Such as the slope of the ship. And sometimes it only makes a difference of a few centimeters. As for who is the most skilled operator, according to Jonathan, they are both almost equally skilled. In addition to the two gentlemen operating the crane, they both have the authority to operate their ship. The PLM crane can be effortlessly removed from the vessel, should it become unnecessary for a specific job. Oeverwerken had meticulously crafted and tailored this crane, a bespoke creation just for the IJsvogel. Jonathan and Marius jointly take care of the necessary maintenance of their vessel, as well as the PLM crane present. When the crane malfunctions, they are always inclined to look for a solution themselves first. To date, however, the assistance of a specialized mechanic has not yet been required to remedy defects. Thus, they also act jointly as the ship's engineers. Jonathan and Marius had previously had an additional canteen on board their ship for several projects, as was the case now. This had previously occurred during various lifting and diving operations, as well as during sheet pile installation and the erection of scaffolding. Within Oeverwerken, plans are being forged for the electrification of the ships, such as the bow thruster and the crane. Nevertheless, this currently appears to be financially out of reach. A step was recently taken towards sustainability. The operation of the crane's undercarriage, which had been hydraulic until then, has been converted to electric control. The turntable was also overhauled. For the newer Rijkswaterstaat water board and Rijkswaterstaat, there was enough reason to expand the reef. with 290 new reef elements and 132 additional tidal pools, as part of the Lauwersoog Dyke strengthening project. This will give it a length of 3 kilometers and a width of 50 meters. The installation of the components in the water apparently went without any difficulties, presumably partly because they were already somewhat advanced in the project. The staff of the IJsvogel had already done this before, at exactly the same location. The used lifting straps are loaded here by the employees, back on board the IJsvogel. The disconnection of the hoisting straps from the reef element components posed a considerable challenge after the crane had placed these elements on the seabed. Both a staff member of Heuvelman Ibis and the hired worker, who jointly carried out this task from the small vessel called Tim, encountered considerable problems when detaching the hoisting straps from those elements, probably due to the strong current. Lauwersoog and the Wadden Sea coast have become a well-known location for the IJsvogel and its managers, both in terms of access and operations. This is partly because they were involved in the very first initiative to install reef structures in 2021. This reef project is a component of the broader dike reinforcement of the Lauwersoog. The dike reinforcement. The Lauwersoog in Groningen is located between Lauwersoog and the Westpolder. They are working to reinforce this dike. In this way, it will offer protection to people against flooding from the Wadden Sea in the future. After a period of preparation and joint planning, they started work in 2023. The reinforcement of the dike will continue until 2027.